Thanks, Karen. All right. Good evening, everybody. I have my big cushion. This is called a Zafra cushion. That's what I sit on. Oh, it just makes it easier for me to sit. I hope you all are doing well this evening. Didn't have too stressful a day. It could have been stressful on the commute home. It was a little slow going for me, but not too bad. So it is Rochester. It is February, so it's what we expect, and that's okay. Thank you for joining me for general yoga practice. Thanks to the cancer support community there, and I hope that as you come to your mat, that it's your time to just take care of yourself. I never understood what the term self-care meant. And then after practicing yoga for a number of years and studying some restorative yoga, you begin to understand just how important self-care is and how challenging it is to make it a priority. So I applaud you for being here. So take a comfortable seat. My name is Julie. Welcome. Take a comfortable seat for this general yoga class. Again, sitting up on stacked blankets or height, there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people believe that yogis are supposed to work towards that, that lotus pose. They bring the leg up. And unfortunately, not everybody can do that pose just anatomically due to the length of the head of their femur and the deepness or shallowness of their hip socket. Okay. So if you have a very narrow hip socket and you have, a long head on your femur, it's not going to be able to open up into a wide position. So it's not always that we're not flexible enough or any of that kind of stuff, or that we have to work harder. It's just the way we're made. So let's honor the way we're made this evening. All right. So find a comfortable seat, whether your legs are out in front of you or you're sitting up or whatever the deal is, find that. And let's just take a few minutes to roll the shoulders up, back, and down. I think it's a lovely practice to use your exhalations to help relax you whenever you can. Good. So we're going to inhale the shoulders up and then move them back behind us and exhale them down. So this opens up the front of the chest. So we want to think of laying the front body against the strength of the back body, the strength of your back and all those muscles along your back body. So that means that we keep the shoulder joints open, the heart is open, and we think it may feel like our torso is actually leaning back, but it's just a little bit, and it just stacks your joints, shoulders over hips, whether your legs are out in front of you or crossed or you're in a chair, it doesn't matter. So just take a minute here. Notice how this feels. Your muscles work when you sit up tall, especially all the muscles in your core, right? So that's why we slump, right? We let gravity take over, we let our spine round, and we're not using any of that muscular strength. So let's roll the shoulders one more time, up, back, and down, and then let the front body open and lay itself against the strength of the back body. Good. You may have lifted your chin. Bring it to like a parallel position and move the back of your head back. You can rest your hands on your legs. Just take some nice in and out breaths. Sometimes it's hard to be present in the moment as it is. We're thinking ahead of ourselves very often, or chiding ourselves for something that happened before, okay? So to stay present, sometimes it's really good to be aware of your body, aware of your space on the mat, and also aware of your surroundings. So let's take a nice big inhale. And as we exhale, keep your eyes open, turn and look over your right shoulder. Hold here, inhale. As you exhale, turn your head slowly to look over the left shoulder and notice everything you see along the way. Inhale here. Exhale, turn the head to look over the other shoulder, nice and easy. And you're not looking for anything in particular, you're just noticing. You're very present in your surroundings. Inhale. Exhale, turn. You're noticing any colors, any shapes, any shadow, any of that kind of thing. Without judgment, just observing. Inhale here. And exhale once again. So you're actually seeing, but you're not thinking about it. You're just making the observations. Good. And then back to the center. It's a nice way to, to feel present in your surroundings. And then we want to feel present in our body. So go ahead and close your eyes and take some deep inhales and exhales. You can breathe through your nose. You can breathe through your mouth. It's okay. Just breathe. Big, deep breaths. Now, without opening your eyes, just sit, breathe naturally. And then I want you to notice your shoulders. Lift them up, back, and down. Where you're leaning forward, it's very natural to do that, okay? And it's kind of cool in your daily life to stop for a minute, take a breath or two, and roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and notice if you're leaning forward. And just kind of correct that posture a little bit. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Breathe up and down from the length of your spine. So all the way down in your pelvic bowl, all the way up through your spine. And then exhale all the way down your spine into the pelvic bowl. Sometimes gentle breathing up and down the spine can help reduce stress. If we just focus on the breath, try to keep it natural, it can help us unwind stress and anxiety a little bit. Maybe you suffer from stress headaches. Sometimes you get them here and there. You can try to relax yourself by breathing. So say you had a stress headache, let's inhale the breath from the low belly, the mid chest, and then all the way up through the crown of your head, nice and easy. And then exhale all the way down through the body, gently, gently, gently. Once again, softly inhale from the low belly to the mid chest, up through the crown of the head, and exhale all the way down. So just practice that a few times. And the inhalation is not a pulling upward. It's just a levitating, lifting. So let your in-breath lift up from the low belly, the chest, up through your face, up to the crown of your head, keeping your face relaxed. And then exhale all the way down, gentle, gentle, gentle. So it's not so much as it's some magic cure for a headache, but it can help you de-stress. And you kind of can almost think as if you're dissolving that stress headache out the top of your head, right? So use breath practice whenever you feel anxious or having stress, okay? You can go ahead and open your eyes. Ooh. Again, move the shoulders a bit. You can roll them back. All right. Let's get centered to start our yoga practice. Let's shake it out. You can do this anytime you're feeling a little excess anxiety or you're logy, you want to wake up, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. And then when I say drop, you're going to put your hands on your legs, just quiet your body. 1, 2, 3, drop. Just breathe normally. Sitting in the silence. We don't create silence. We move things out of the way so that we can acknowledge it. Because it's always there. Good. Open your eyes if they're not already open. And let's take some circles. Let's do our serotonin circles. So we're making circles across the bottom of our hips. Remember in your yoga practice, as in any kind of physical practice, please don't do any movements that hurt. And don't do anything that your healthcare practitioners have told you not to do. Okay? Just go however you want to go. Modify the movements however you want. Let's go the other way. Good. So we did a little bit of breathing, doing a little bit of moving. Whew. Nice. Gorgeous. All right. So we're going to actually start out lying down on our backs. If you have a strap to help stretch your legs, you can grab one, or a necktie or a bathrobe, waist tie, whatever you might have, you can use, but you don't have to have Okay, just kind of putting it out there. All right, so I'm going to remove my cushion and lay down on my back so that we can do some work there. Take your time now. All right, take your time laying down on your back. Knees bent, and bring it down one vertebrae at a time. Great, awesomely awesome. So my knees are bent, feet on the floor. Just kind of feeling the floor underneath you, feeling the mat underneath you. Whew. Just very gently inhale the arms up overhead, inhale them up overhead, and exhale them back down. Yay. Inhale them up overhead, and exhale them back down. Again, and you're moving at your natural pace of breath. So however long it takes you to inhale, that's how long the arms take to go overhead. And they don't have to go all the way overhead, right? It may take you a couple of repetitions to reach further overhead, right? If we're just warming up that area. Or maybe you can't reach overhead with one arm or both arms, and that's okay. And just go part way that you can go with both hands. It's okay. Very good. Let's add some warm up for the hips. Inhale the arms overhead and exhale the right knee in towards your chest. Good. And then we're going to switch. Put the foot down, inhale the arms overhead, and exhale the left knee towards your chest. Beautiful. And we're going to go back and forth in that way with our breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Stretching the hips, the lower back. And exhaling, and moving with our breath. Very often people would tell me that they felt so good after a yoga class. And part of the reason for that is they were actually breathing deeply. They were actually breathing better than they normally do, right? They weren't breathing shallow. They were taking beautiful breaths, expansive breaths, and that's going to make you feel better. All right, so both feet on the floor, both knees bent. Now we're going to bring both knees in towards our chest. And you can put your hands behind your thighs. Some people put their hands on the front of their knees or shins, whatever works for you. And we're going to rock a little bit from side to side, cross our lower back and back of our hips. Nice and easy. You can make circles here, bring the knees in, move them away, rocking from the right to left side in a circular motion, forward and back. And make sure that you rock in the other direction as well. Oh, so nice. So there's a pose that I really like. So we're going to place our hands on the front of our kneecaps and our feet are off the floor. So I want you to, if you can, please hold on to the front of the knees and relax the legs so that your hands and straight arms are what are keeping your feet from touching the floor. Okay, so the elbows are straight, you're holding on to those knees. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, draw them in towards your chest. Inhale, release them away, let the elbows straighten, hands holding the knees, and exhale. Again, you can do this with your hands behind your thighs as well. Inhale, release the knees. Exhale, draw them in. Apanasana, wind relieving pose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just one more. It doesn't matter how much you bring your knees in. Ah, beautiful. Very nice. Place your feet on the floor, knees bent. We're going to take the arms out just gently here, and we're going to begin to sweep the knees to the right and the left together. You know, they're not glued together. They're hips width apart, but we're just going to sweep. So you're actually rolling from one hip, the back of one hip to the back of the other. Warming up those oblique muscles on the sides of your waist. When you take your knees from one side to the other in this kind of a twist, your obliques work kind of like a pulley system. It's pretty neat. They make a basket weave shape, your inner outer obliques on each side of your waist. Our body's pretty amazing design. Inhale and exhale. Don't be afraid to notice what you're feeling. To be in the moment. If something hurts, don't do it, right? Modify it, do a little bit less or change it so it feels better.
Excellent. Because no one says you have to get your knees all the way to the side. No one says that. Okay, you can do whatever you like. Ah, very nice. Very good. Very good. Let's bring those knees back in one more time. Oh, so nice to bring the knees in towards the chest. Now, I mentioned that you could use a strap if you wanted to, but you don't have to. So we're going to place both feet on the floor, both knees bent, bring the right knee in towards our chest, and extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. So I have my hand on the back of my thigh. I'm going to bend the knee and straighten the knee. So I'm not flopping it open and closed. I'm pressing a little bit through the heel, pressing up a bit and pressing in. So let's just see what kind of range of motion we've got here in the back of our legs and hips tonight. So we don't have to go fast. You can go slow. Maybe your joints are making a little noise. As long as you're feeling okay, that's good. And let's just holding on to this one leg with the knee a little bit. Let's circle the right foot in one direction and the other, really using that ankle. Oh, very good. All right. So if you have a strap, fine. If you don't, fine. You can just hold on to the back of your thigh. Okay? Because it doesn't really matter. If you have a strap or any kind of tie, I've used my husband's old neckties for years before I ever got yoga equipment. Right? I used my husband's neckties. So you just hold whatever you've got. You can use a towel. You can use a small hand towel. It doesn't really matter. And it goes under the ball of your foot right below your toes. So press the ball of your foot against the strap with a towel. And also press the heel up towards the ceiling at the same time. So it's the same action if you're not using a strap. Hold the back of your thigh, press both the heel and the ball of your foot towards the ceiling. Good. Just enjoy the stretch. I'd like you to take a moment and notice the back of your hips. Do you notice one hip a little bit more than the other? Chances are the right hip is up a little higher towards your armpit, and that's okay. If you can wiggle your hips a little bit and see if you can lower that right hip or move it more towards the end of your mat. There, good. You might find that there's a little more freedom there. We tend to hitch our hips up when when we're working with one leg. We tend to kind of get the hip lifted there. Let's see if we can keep that hip crease down a bit. This is great. Awesome. So many things you can do here. You can rotate your foot and your leg out to the right. So you can turn the whole leg and foot out to the right and extend. Now, if you don't have a strap, you just keep your right hand on the back or outside of the right thigh. Don't worry about it. Your foot does not have to touch the floor. If you have a couch or something over here like I do, hey, put your foot on it. We don't have to be push all the time. Just put it where it might rest, and you can passively stretch that, just using gravity in the position that you're in, and that's awesome. Okay. All right. So it doesn't matter if the foot touches the ground. You can put pillows there or a block or use your couch, whatever works. Think of your hips now. Is your left hip up off the mat? So you can rock it back down, right? Not push it or glue it, but rock it back down. So both hips feel heavy. You're still going to feel more connection with the floor with the back of the right hip, but you don't want the left hip to pop all the way off the floor. You want to roll over. On an exhalation, pull your belly muscles in and squeeze your inner thighs towards each other to bring that leg back up. Very good. Very good. So we're going to bend this knee now. And you don't need your strap if you're using a strap. You can continue to use it if you want to, because if it feels good to you. But this is half of Happy Baby. So half of Happy Baby, what we want to do is we want to bend this right knee and widen the right leg out to the side at the same time. So you can hold the back of your thigh, you can hold your strap if you still want to use it, or you can put your hand to the inside of the ankle, just above the ankle. And when you bend your elbow, this will gently, because gravity will move your shoulder back to the floor. So when you bend the elbow, you can gradually widen that right knee out to the side. So it's Happy Baby or the birthing pose, Ananda Balasana, Happy Baby. But the point of this is to really get a good stretch in that hip. So it's okay, the key is to widen the knee out to the side. The bottom of the foot faces the ceiling. Again, do you feel your left hip popping all the way off the floor? Rock it back a little bit. It's okay. You're doing great. Woo. Beautiful. Inhale here. And exhale, let's release this and place this right foot over the top of the left thigh. If you're using a strap, you can put it to the side. So now we have the number 4 position, spread the toes, flex the foot, the knee is bent, and you're gonna put your arms out and you're gonna rock your hips once more from side to side, to the left hip, to the right hip. Keep this right foot flexed, that's over your left thigh, toes spreading, and just rock from side to side. Now, some of you are like, hey, I can rock a little further. Well, your abdominals and your obliques are gonna help you here, right? But this is also a piriformis stretch. So we wanna be a little careful. But if you can go a little further to the side, hey, see how it feels. Engage those abdominals to help you move the leg back up, because that's the hard part. We can rock over to the side, but sometimes it's hard getting the legs back up. So make sure you're breathing, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Good, nice stretch. I love to do this stretch while moving. I love hip stretches, particularly this one, the outer rotators, my favorite stretch. All right, beautiful. Now I'd like you to uncross and stretch your legs out gently, and notice if your right leg feels different than your left. I'm hoping you do notice that your right leg feels different than your left, okay? And that's why we're here, right? We're looking for that beautiful residual feel good from our yoga practice, okay? So both knees bend, both feet on the floor, and now we're gonna bring the left knee in towards our chest. And we're just gonna bend it and unbend it. We're gonna give it a chance to warm up, just like we did the right leg. We do this with purpose. We don't have to do it real fast or floppy, we do it with purpose. And this may feel really good to you. I don't know, right? So, hey, if you like something that feels really good, then you can do more of it. It's all good. It's your practice. Do what works for you. I'm just your guide, really. So, beautiful. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, either you're going to use a strap or you're not. Depends on what you're doing and where you're at. So you can put your strap or your towel or whatever underneath the ball of your foot, not the arch of your foot, the ball of your foot. Press the ball of your foot against the strap and reach the heel up towards the ceiling. If you don't have a strap, you have your hands behind your left thigh. And you're doing the same thing, pressing both the heel and the ball of your foot towards the ceiling. It's okay if you can't completely straighten your knee. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just breathe. And let's notice, do you think that your left hip is up a little higher towards the top of your mat than your left hip? You can kind of wiggle your hips a little bit and move this right hip crease more towards the end of your mat. Good. Notice if that makes a difference. It can give you a little bit more space between the thigh and the low belly. And I think for some folks, that really gives them that opportunity to move the leg further away, right? And straighten it more. But at how much you straighten your knee is up to you. Let's just enjoy this for a minute. Beautiful. Now we have the opportunity to externally rotate that leg. So out, you turn the left toes and the left thigh out to the left, and we hold on to the strap or the outer side of our thigh as we extend that leg out. Good, turning it down towards the floor, externally rotating. Again, I don't care if the toes get anywhere close to the floor. You could put a pillow there, a blanket, some blocks. I actually have a doorway. I'm right near a doorway. So I can put my foot right on the doorway. And I love that. You know, I'm not feeling like I have to get to the floor. I'm just enjoying the stretch. I don't know where you are feeling it. You could be feeling it in the inner thigh. You could be feeling it more in the outer thigh. But chances are you're feeling it more in the inner thigh, okay? So there's nowhere you have to be here. Find a spot and just hold where you can for a few breaths, and that's a beautiful thing to do. So no worries there. Notice your right hip. Is it all the way up off the floor and your butt squeezing? Let's kind of rock a little bit. See if we can kind of get that right hip down just a little bit more. Even if it means your leg comes up higher away from the floor, see if you can rock over onto the back of the right hip just a little bit more, okay? You can always come out of any of these stretches anytime. And then when you feel you're ready, take an inhale. As you exhale, hug your belly and your inner thighs towards each other. Bring that leg back up. Ooh, doggy. That feels good. Doesn't that feel good? All right, so now it's time for half of happy baby pose. So you can use the strap or not, use a hand behind your thigh. You're going to bend the left knee and widen it out to the left. So the bottom of your foot is going to face the ceiling, right? Again, you can use the strap if you find that easier. What you want to think about is the knee, the left knee widens out to the left and bends. So the knee kind of bends pointing towards your armpit, right outside your armpit, bottom of the foot faces the ceiling. Take some deep breaths here. Many people find that it's easier to do happy baby on each side, separately. Maybe you feel that way too. Once again, notice the back of your hips. Is the back of your right hip all the way up off the floor? And just, kind of rock it back down a little bit. Ooh, beautiful. Just take some breaths. Enjoy this. See if you can relax your body in this pose, like maybe 10% more. Gorgeous. And then we're going to bring it up. Yay. And we are going to cross this foot over the opposite thigh. So we're making the number 4. So we're crossing the left foot and ankle over the top of the right thigh. You can move your strap out of the way. Put the arms out here where you have some stability, palms down, and just rock from side to side. Keep this left foot flexed, the one that you have over the right thigh, right? Because we want to imagine that we've magnetized the left foot to the right thigh bone, so it stays put as we rock from side to side. It may feel different on this side than it did with the other leg. You may rock more or less, depending on how good it feels. Some people really like that, but your abdominals and obliques are going to work more the further you twist to the side. Okay, so find what's working for you this evening. Gorgeous. Nice. Ooh. And then you come up here, you can release. Now stretch out both legs. Yay. Now they both feel equally good. Just kind of enjoy that for a minute. I think we forgot to circle our ankle on the left foot. So let's bring that in and do that. Sometimes I forget. Circle one direction, then the other. Yeah. Just want to make sure we're even, Stephen. I don't know who Stephen is, but I think I would like him. All right, let's see. So feet on the floor. All right, last thing we're going to do here is for the hip flexors. If you do sitting, a lot of sitting, this is helpful. I mean, you stretch your hip flexors in lunges too, right? But lunges are a little more difficult to do. They take more muscular strength and balance. And sometimes we like them, sometimes we're like, eh. So take the arms out and with your feet and your knees wide apart, inhale here, exhale both knees over to one side. When you do this, right, like I've got both my knees going over to the left. So I'm feeling a big stretch in the front of my right thigh and my right hip. And that's what we're looking for. So we can do this in movement. Inhale those knees up. Still, feet and knees are wide apart. Exhale them over to the other side, over to the right side. So now you're feeling a big stretch in the front of the left thigh and left hip. Good. And go back and forth. Inhaling. This is nice and slow. Exhaling. Really feel that beautiful stretch in front of your hip. Inhaling. Rocking across the back of your hips and the bottom of your feet. Exhaling. So yes, one hip is definitely lifting in the twist. And that's what happens. Exhale. Rocking from one side to the other. Inhaling and exhaling. Really enjoy that feeling of opening up the front of the hip. Again, if you do a lot of sitting, which many of us do if you have a desk job or you bend over a lot or you work at a table, So this is really a wonderful way to do it. If you don't enjoy standing on one foot and holding your ankle, or laying on your side, bending your knee and holding your ankle behind you, that's another way to stretch through the hip and the quadriceps. And one more time each side, because these feel good. Ooh, feel that hip open up. The other side, yeah. Ooh. And back up. Excellent job. Walk those feet in. And the knees in towards your chest. Give it a little rock or circles, whatever feels good for you. And then if you like, go ahead and stretch both legs straight. Bottom of both feet up towards the ceiling. Yay! Really nice. Feels good. Get some nice length there. You can inhale your arms overhead. So this is going to be abdominal strengthening for you, believe it or not. Hug the right, left sides of your rib cage in towards the center. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your hands down and bend the knees 90 degrees. Good. Inhale, arms overhead, straighten the legs. Exhale, arms down, knees bend 90 degrees. You feel your abdominals working the longer we do this? Inhale, up. Oh, great. Exhale, arms down, 90 degrees with the knees. Okay. Up. And exhale, 90 degrees with the knees. This time we're going to hold it. So arms overhead, legs nice and straight. Hold. Hug the right, left side of your rib cage in towards the center spot. This is abdominal stabilization. Same kind of action at the rib cage for the abdominals that you would use in plank pose. And exhale. And the knees, relax a little bit. That was fun. Okay, so let's roll over onto our side. So feet on the floor, over onto the side, hand down, pull your belly button in, and come on up. Let's do the cat-cow stretches. Maybe get a little strength there going on the arms. So in the all fours position, knees are underneath the hips. I'd like you to place the heel of your palm, line it up with the top edge of each shoulder. So I don't recommend putting your wrist directly underneath your shoulder, placing the palm directly underneath the shoulder. It's a little difficult on the hands. Spread the fingers a little bit. Turn your inner elbow creases in to look at each other. Feel the weight move to the inner part of your hands, base of the index finger and thumb. A lot safer place for your wrists. Then when we're ready, inhale, drop that belly down, lift the tailbone, lift the heart. So your back feels like it's sagging, the whole part of your waist is stretching. Inhale here. On the next exhalation, lift the back of your rib cage up towards the sky. Let your tailbone draw down between your thighs, relax your head, push into the mat a little bit with your fingernails. Feel like you're lifting up your upper back. Cat pose, hold for a few breaths. And then you can go back and forth. Inhale, roll the shoulders, lift the tailbone, heart up. Cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. So you can hold each one for a few breaths, or you can inhale on one and exhale on the other. You do what works. You do you. You do you. Gorgeous. Very good. Maybe you've been in a yoga class before where the people are all making noise, they're grunting, they're going, oh. It's like kind of weird and uncomfortable, but let me tell you, I do it. I do it. So good, some of these movements. Just want to enjoy them, All right, gorgeous. So now we're going to begin to sit our hips back towards our heels. So this may take a little bit, right? A little bit of knee flexion. So take your time. Sit your hips back towards your heels. It's okay if you can't sit on the back of your heels. Don't worry about it. And then bring the forearms down. All right. So this is our child's pose, right? And just be gentle with your body. You can even put a rolled up blanket
on the back of your calves, and so your butt can kind of sit on that if you want to. But nice and easy. Good. Now from this position, let's reach the arms out really long. Ooh, right? Ooh, boy. And some folks will rest their forearms. Some folks will be on their palms. Some will even come up on their fingertips, which will be a little more strength building in the arms. So whatever works for you. Let's walk the hands off the right corner of the mat or the right side of the mat. So you feel a big stretch on the left side, through the left side of your ribs, your left lung. Breathe there. And walk the hands back. Inhaling and exhaling over off the left corner now. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Keep your head between your upper arms. Breathe into your right lung, the right side of your ribs. Okay? All right. Beautiful. And then walk the hands back. Great job. Come back up to all fours. Very, very good. Very good. All right. So we did some hip opening, shoulder opening. And let's move back to all fours. Line everything up. Inner elbow creases looking at each other. And once again, drop the belly down. So let the back kind of sag down. Okay? So you're letting the back kind of sag down. So the tailbone is lifting and your heart is lifting up a bit. Notice how that feels. All right. So from that position, right, that cow position, I want you to come down on your forearms. Good, good, good. So keep thinking of that cow position. Tailbone is lifting and the whole spine is kind of drawing down towards the ground, sagging down. Maybe you can bring your forehead to the floor. You don't need to. My forearms are on the floor, my elbows are bent. But if you have more flexibility here, you can actually stretch the arms out, reach the head down. Okay, this is a type of puppy pose, and it is a little challenging. So take your time with it. Okay, so take your time with it. Again, you're up. You have your hips lined up over your knees. So it's just like cow pose, but we're going to come down on the forearms. So you still have that tailbone lifting. And then maybe you're stretching the arms out, or maybe you're not. Bring the forehead down. Can you see if I can turn this to the side a little better so you can see it? Let's see. All right. Knees and hips lined up. Chest kind of relaxes down there. Arms stretch out. So you can see this is a type of back bend. Just take a few more breaths there. Just take a few more breaths. You're doing great. And then come on back up. Ooh, that's a tough one. Okay, it is. So I give you a lot of credit for trying that. If it was too difficult, that's okay. A little bit of challenge is always a good thing. All right. So let's take a moment here and sit to the side with our legs off to one side. So your legs may be off to the left or to the right. You're just going to take the upper leg and rest the shin in the arch of the bottom foot. You can sit up on height, but if you have a cushion like I do, you could put it under the tuchus, the part of your butt that's sitting on the floor. You can definitely do that, or use a towel. But my knees are off to one, so I'm just resting in here. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale those arms up. Good. And exhale, turn our heart away from our feet. So if my knees are bent over to the left, I'm turning my heart to the right. Good. And I might even take my right hand and put it in the cactus or gold pose position, or gently place it behind my back. Gently. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And back to the center position. Great job. You can place your fingertips down and reach over now if you want. Whee! Just because it feels good. A lot of the times I do things just because it feels good. And it is a great stretch for the side body. And it's a nice counter pose to that twist. All right, so now we have to put the legs over to the other side. And if you're using a towel or you're sitting up on something, definitely do that. Again, both knees come over to one side. The upper calf rests in the bottom arch of the foot. Sit up nice and tall. And, push your, because if it feels weirdly uncomfortable for you, sit up on something. Roll up the back edge of your mat. Do whatever works. It's so much more comfortable. Can I do it without the? Yes, I can, but I enjoy it much more sitting up on the cushion. So we're going to inhale nice and tall, and exhale, turn our heart away from our knees. So my knees are bent and sweeping over to the left. So I'm turning to the right. Yep. Good. And then it's kind of up to you if you want to bring that back arm, that left arm, and back behind you or out in the goalpost or cactus position. The opposite hand goes to the opposite thigh. It doesn't have to be a big twist. It can be whatever you want. You can look back over your shoulder, but you don't have to. And then come back. And if you want to take that big side stretch, you can. Just kind of reach out. Yay. Fun, fun, fun. Fun for the whole family. Ooh. Awesome. And release. Great job. All right. So, bring the feet out in front. Hold on to your knees. And then gently round the spine. So I'm going to hug my knees a little bit here. Hold my hands gently. And round my spine. It's okay to round your spine when you're resting, when you're doing it for purposes of stretching the spine, right? Deep forward bend, which is basically what this is. So I'm letting my spine round back behind me, letting my head relax, because this is okay to do. And then gently coming up. Okay. All right. So it's time for your Shavasana. All right. Take a few minutes. I know some of you do the meditation after class. So nice to get a little Shavasana in before you start your meditation. And a number of different ways that you can do it. So if you want to lie on your back, you can put some rolled up blanket or towel underneath the back of your knees. That would feel good. Cushion underneath your head, a little pillow if you have it nearby. Lie on your back and relax. You can also lay on your side, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to lay on my side. Okay. So when I lay on my side to make it comfortable, I put a folded blanket, a long folded blanket, as long as I can get it, right? And I put that between my legs from my knees all the way to my feet. So some people will sleep with something just between their knees. Try sleeping with something longer between your knees all the way to the bottom of your feet. So if I lay on my side, over to my side, and put my head on whatever cushion or pillow I might have nearby. My knees are bent and stacked. I'm going to take this long blanket and put it between my legs from my knees all the way down my calves to my feet. So it's not just between my knees. My entire calves are supported. All right. Now, some folks feel really comfortable. You can bend the elbow, you can bring it up. Some folks like to hug something. So if you have a big pillow or a cushion, you can hug it, with this upper arm. Just kind of let the upper arm relax over whatever it is you're hugging. Okay. Or you can use whatever you have at home and just kind of hug it gently. Release, relax. Close your eyes, take some breaths. So whether you're lying on your back or on your side, it doesn't matter. Make yourself as comfortable as you can, whatever that means. Have blankets nearby. It's okay to have a lot of stuff when you practice it, because you need it. It's bolsters, pillows, and all.
No, Jora, Dario, even this Jones, no.
And then just relax into your Shavasana. Breathe in and breathe out.
pose it there, longing.
And every time you take a cycle of breath, see if you can soften the body 10% more.
I didn't mean.
Zero's
Yeah.
good.
Or you can let go, release, and let the body relax against the support.
There's my power, just my tongue. So, if
Awesome.
I'm doing well, I'll finally get
So hold your Shavasana for a little while longer, right? You can do that if you've got some time. Okay? A few minutes over. So hold your Shavasana, just breathe softly and stay with your, feel your inhales and exhales. And see if you can relax your body a little bit more.
We'll go with 2 knees. We'll go
Thank
with
you for
3.
joining me for gentle yoga practice this evening. I honor.
Well, she is.
May you all find peace, no matter how much snow we are given. Namaste, my friends. Enjoy your Shavasana.
If we want to create a new and better world, I'm not sure deceit and mass murder is the best way to start.